But today we are gathered at cemeteries all over the country. We march in parades, big and small, from California to Virginia, and here in Nevada from Fernley to Virginia City to Hawthorne to Boulder City. And we watch a Memorial Day concert on television. We do those things to honor the loyalty and the bravery of our fallen in this noble calling, what we call military service. While this day is typically spent recalling the valor of the men and women who died in combat, we must also never forget the quiet professionals who answered the noble calling to serve the people of the United States, not only in uniform, but our diplomats, our intelligence agents, and our civilians serving in the combat zones, as our son Ty Cobb Jr. did in Iraq. Many of our veterans died in combat and are buried here. Many came back severely wounded, physically, yes, but mentally too. Some died in combat, some died later on. It's not important where or when they died, it's the fact that their life was given over to the greater good of the nation, and that defines their legacy. It's the, for you all know, it's the years at a time deployed, separated from family in austere conditions and in unfamiliar lands. This is what makes them our heroes, those who served, and the men and women and the families back home. They are honored too. You know, every military family lives in perpetual fear of that knock on the door that is accompanied by the 3 service members in blue. There are men and women here across the country whose lives were never quite the same after that knock, but they carry on every day knowing that there's a void that they must fill. So many mothers and wives, husbands and fathers, extended family and friends do their duty every day to ensure that that loved one is remembered. But we also honor you today, the families, for you bear a burden that only you can comprehend. But it's our responsibility as citizens to remember our nation's brave and fallen men and women, whether they died on foreign lands in the heat of battle or after a lifetime in the uniform of our country. So later, after the sun sets today, just ask you to stop and reflect on the soldiers who paid a price and the sailors and the airmen that we will never be able to match. Remember that today is both a somber day and a day of rejoicing. Today is both a day of forgotten valor and a day to remember it. But most of all, today is the day to tell the stories of these soldiers, airmen, and sailors who served on the battlefields in decades past, so that those who served yesterday and today are never